found it on, well, Tim said he found it on his
cell phone, and then
cell phone, and Hank found it on the, I don't know what I guess he may have been talking to this fella that's coming for lunch or something. We still haven't eaten anything.
Well, hell.
We haven't.
We're kind of desperate now.
Well, when I couldn't get either phone, I said, well, something is going on up there. I hope nobody's fell out.
Tim may have had his turned off, but Hank had this guy that they've invited for lunch that didn't have any place to go, had called to ask for directions on how to get here, and so that was the only time he was, I was talking to Bubba. He called.
Yeah, he called, yeah.
He called earlier this morning. But anyway, we got a package yesterday, and they was real excited. My gloves were just beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And so that putty stuff, and he would start doing that, and when he made that noise, Maggie said, "Uh-oh, poopy." Uh-oh. And so they did it again a while ago, and she said, "Poopy, Daddy." We done that, poopy.
Well, yeah, I intended for you to have some of those gloves. They're not bright red, but they're...
Oh, I thought they were beautiful. And I hate y'all did that. I know that candy, all of it's real expensive.
No, it's not. So I didn't mail but 2 packages, that one and one to Austin. So.
And it came yesterday, so that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. Did y'all have a good Christmas?
Yeah, we hadn't had it yet. All our packages are still unwrapped.
Did you eat?
No, I'm not going to be able to cook.
What happened?
Well, Thursday, this is this damn card when I'm rocking in this chair. Thursday, I didn't go into work. It was just ice everywhere. And just the only people there were the people that run the company. And it was the day they were going to give the checks out, so I called and asked when they'd be ready, and Shelley is the office manager. She said, "Oh, I'll bring it to you. I'm about to leave," because she lives out this way. And she was going to be here in about 15 minutes, and my sink had 2 cookie sheets and 4 or 5 things, Tupperware things, bottoms, and a couple of lids, and I said, oh, shit. So I just grabbed them all up and put them in the oven. Put the first, and both racks were full of that stuff. And so after she left, Mark said, I said, look, Mark. And he said, well, don't turn on the oven. I said, well, do you think I'm crazy? And so the very next day, yesterday, I was making up my sand tart stuff, and I reached over and turned on the oven, and in about 5 minutes I started smelling something burning, and I looked around to see if I'd lit a candle, and then all of a sudden I remembered that stuff in the oven, and I jerked that open, and one of those Tupperware things with a blue lid, it was just melting. There was just blue plastic melting down to the bottom, and a little fire was going in the bottom of the oven. So I jerked all that stuff out and threw it in the sink, and I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't been standing right there, because there was a dish towel in there with it, too.
Oh, God, you would have burnt the house.
Yeah. And so I turned the oven off, opened the door, and got that stuff out, and there was a fire in the middle of all that plastic. It was about like 2 or 3 inches high, flaming up, and so I called Mark on the cell phone. I said, well, I have a disaster, and I told him, I said that plastic was in there, and part of it's melted on the bottom of the oven, and it's burning. He said, well, turn it up all the way, hot as it'll go, and let it burn out. I said, well, I don't know. I said, I turned it off. I've already turned it off. And I said, but it's burning. And so he said, well, just leave it off and shut the door and let it burn itself out. And then the next minute he said, well, no, turn it up high as it'll go.
Well, I couldn't see it. I didn't know what you had in there.
Then he said, well, I don't know without being there to see it. So I just left it off and kept the door shut. But those fumes were giving me chest pains. I had to to open that kitchen screen. But anyway, so I said, well, shit, because I was going to bake sausage balls and sand tarts. So I went ahead and made up the dough for the sand tarts because I'd already melted the butter and put the powdered sugar in there. So I went ahead and made it up, and it's in the refrigerator in a ball, in a Tupperware thing. I went ahead and made up the sausage balls and rolled them out and put them in a Tupperware thing, and the two ladies down the street came over about 6. They called it yesterday morning and said, what would like to come by for a little Christmas cheer? And I said, so they were supposed to be here at 6, and so I got to play balderdash. We played balderdash, and they had a good time, and I initiated them into the Cow Club. And then when they started home last night, they offered to bake the sausage balls today. So they baked them and brought them over about 11:30, and so the only thing, and I made the haystack, so the only thing that needs doing is those sand tart cookies. But Mark he scraped up that plastic a while ago and then turned it on the clean mode, and fumes started coming out of there, and I was getting chest pains again. I got one of those painter masks and put over my nose, and so
Mark to throw all the windows open, go outside.
That's probably noxious.
It's toxic, chemicals, plastic.
So we shut the oven off and just.
So what do you think you'll have to leave the house if he does?
We're just gonna get another.
Because the cat is here and it would kill him.
Oh.
So I had to go downstairs, and by the time I went downstairs and he had all those windows open down there, when I sat down in that chair down there, my chest was hurting, and when I blinked my eyes,
The knife, is it brown on top? Just stick a knife down in the center of it, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. And so you start having chest pain?
Again, from the fumes, before I went downstairs, Mark said, come downstairs, don't stay up here in this. And so when I got down there, I sat in the chair, and as I sat down, I started noticing when I'd blink, I'd see streaks of light.
Oh.
And so I took off my glasses, and then I had my head just hanging over, and I got real sleepy, and I almost told Mark I feel like I could just lay down and go to sleep. But finally,
what are y'all gonna do for dinner?
It'll have to be for New Year's, what I bought to cook today. I've got bacon and eggs, and I can't make biscuits. I can do them on top of the oven, though.
Yeah.
Just put them in a black skillet and cover it. Do you cover it? Or leave it open?
I don't know, because I've never done it on top of the stove.
I have. I've got that old green cookbook, and that's where I found that cooking on top of the stove. But they turned out. So
probably you'd cover it.
It would seem like to hold the heat in.
Yeah. Well, if she's going to cook some biscuits on top of the stove, she had some plastic containers in her oven and turned it on, forgot they was in there. And plastic burned in her oven, and every time they turn it on, they get these horrible fumes, so she can't cook in it. That was just a miracle that it didn't turn out worse than it was.
Oh, my, if I hadn't been standing in the kitchen, I would have come in here. I would have smelled it, and I would have come in there, and it would just been a big blaze.
You need to have we have 2 fire extinguishers we keep around.
Well, I've got one in the kitchen, but I asked Mark that I started to squirt it on there, but...
Oh, shit, no.
Why?
Just close the door and let it...
Well, that's what I did. No, I had it open when you called, but...
Well, did your chest pains go away?
Yes.
When she got out in the fresh air, they went away.
And those light streaks of light went away.
Yeah.
What was that? Was I about to pass out?
Well, I'm glad it wasn't no worse than that you got over it.
Yes, and so JoJo brought the sausage balls back, and they were still kind of warm. So my intention for yesterday was to fix a little 3 things and take to 1, 2, 3, 4 of the neighbors. And so we did that today. We just did sausage balls and haystacks. And JoJo and them had already had their sausage. She said she ate 5 before she brought them back.
Well, we had Sister Schubert cinnamon rolls and sausage balls this morning. And we're still cooking on our dinner.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big old stove. You got 2 big ovens there.
What did you say, Mark? I didn't hear you.
You've got 2 big ovens there you can cook in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had I did the ham, and they said it tasted like you. They said, this tastes like Aunt Charlotte's.
Well, yeah.
I bought it here after we got in yesterday. I went and got it, and it was just the whole ones was too big.
Yeah.
And so this was a half of a semi-boneless.
Yeah. So.
Cured. That was all that they had at that place. Besides, I mean, it was boneless. Just let it rest a few minutes. Kathleen had emailed me this recipe for beer bread.
Oh, I've got one.
Real good. So I had Hank buy. She said you have to have really good German beer, not just a can of Falstaff or something, or it'll taste terrible, she said. So he got some kind of beer in a bottle, and I poured it in there, and it smelled yeasty when I stirred it up.
Yeah, somebody several years back at work told me they made beer bread, and I said, well, what's that? They said, oh, it's wonderful. She said, I do that a lot instead of any other kind of bread, and it's just, I wrote down the recipe.
Well, this was 3 in 1. 3 cups of self-rising flour, 3 tablespoons sugar, 3 tablespoons melted butter, and 1 bottle of very good foreign German.
Well, I never did make it, so y'all can tell me how it was.
Yeah.
But when I got home from Ohio, and the 2 ducks, I was driving down Bell Road and past that cement thing, and I never had seen them before, but there they were. Right, the geese.
Oh.
And I can't wait to find out how much they charge for them. I never saw them there before. And I can't believe I brought those back from Ohio, wasn't it?
Well, everybody that ever sees them wants them, you know. We spread them, King spread them all over Shreveport, because they've seen mine and wanted.
Yeah, now JoJo and Deborah want one, the 2 ladies.
Yeah.
So, and Wanda next door has started making clothes. I believe she's going to sell them on eBay.
Well, she's got her doll, and she's headed out the door, bye-bye. Daddy gave her a little bag, and so she's packed up, and she's saying bye-bye.
Oh. That's funny about the fart.
She said, uh-oh.
Poo-poo.
Put in my poopy.
Poopy.
She farts all the time. She is a Morrison in that sense of the word.
Well, what are y'all having, a ham and turkey?
We got ham, and we did turkey in the oven. Hank was going to fry it, but it was too cold, and he said he wouldn't have been able to keep the fire hot enough, so we put that in the oven, and cornbread dressing and green bean casserole, you know that.
Yeah.
And then Lucy wanted some oven baked potatoes, and she wanted some fresh green beans.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody likes green bean casserole but Tim, but he has to have it. And beer bread. They got a cherry pie from the pie lady, and Tim made a chess cake, and I fixed me a sugar-free, fat-free dessert with Jell-O pudding and fat-free cream cheese.
Yeah.
Wow, sounds good.
And I made that salsa dip last night. I didn't have anything, and we didn't know they were going to stay, you know, but they brought me a gorgeous purple teddy bear.
Oh.
It's just royal purple. and they brought us a bottle of Merlot wine
Wow.
and a card, and then we were standing around talking. I said, well, y'all want to play balderdash? And then a little bit later, we were playing. I said, y'all want some dip? And, neither one of them would say, yeah. And so when I finally decided to make it, I separated it in half and put it in 2 different bowls, and I thought they weren't going to stop. It was just, they couldn't even talk or nothing but attacking that dip. And I had some tostadas chips, but it's good.
Well, I guess I better get off the phone and go help them finish up with this lunch. We're all getting pretty faintified.
Well, you ought to be here. Just glad y'all didn't come in here for Christmas dinner, 'cause you wouldn't have had one.
Well, y'all ought to just pile up in the car and go out.
I ain't going out nowhere.
Everything's open.
As long as you got something to eat.
Well, I'll talk to y'all maybe after I get back home again. But
Okay.
Thanks for everything.
Well, we love y'all and Merry Christmas.
Love you. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.